Are you a high achiever who often finds yourself putting off important tasks, even though you know they could drive you closer to your goals? If you're someone who sets high standards, you might be familiar with the paradox of procrastination. The more you care about doing well, the harder it can be to start. This isn't about laziness or lack of ambition. It's a common challenge for ambitious professionals and perfectionists like you. And it's not just holding you back from finishing tasks, it's impacting your ability to reach your true potential. In this video, we'll dive into why high standards can lead to hesitation and, most importantly, how you can transform that pressure into a powerful drive to take action. By the end, you'll walk away with practical, proven strategies to keep moving forward without sacrificing the quality and excellence you value. Ready to make procrastination a thing of the past? Let's get started. High achievers often fall into procrastination traps, not because they lack motivation, but because their drive for excellence can sometimes work against them. At the heart of this tendency is perfectionism paralysis, the need for everything to be flawless before even beginning. When standards are set so high, even the smallest imperfection can seem unacceptable, leading to hesitation, overthinking, and eventually inaction. The thought of delivering anything less than perfect feels like failing before they've even started. Another significant factor is the fear of failure. For ambitious professionals, failure can feel especially daunting. The high stakes they place on themselves make the potential of not meeting those standards almost unbearable. So rather than risk failing at their own expectations, they delay starting altogether, postponing that moment of judgment. It's not uncommon for high achievers to think, if I don't start, I can't fail. However, this avoidance often leads to more stress as deadlines approach and less time is available to achieve the desired level of quality. Finally, overcommitment and burnout play a critical role. High achievers are often juggling multiple high-priority tasks at once, believing they can manage it all. But the mental strain of numerous responsibilities can quickly turn into overwhelm, making it hard to tackle any task effectively. When everything feels important, it becomes easier to freeze up and avoid tasks altogether, rather than risk handling them suboptimally. These factors combine to create a cycle of delay and self-doubt, trapping high achievers in a loop of unfinished projects and unrealized potential. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to overcoming them. In the next section, we'll explore how procrastination impacts high performance and why breaking free from it is essential. Procrastination might seem like a minor delay, but for high achievers, it can come with a significant cost. The cycle of putting things off doesn't just affect productivity, it also undermines confidence, growth, and overall performance. One major impact is lost opportunities. When high achievers delay tasks that could propel them forward, they risk missing out on advancements, promotions, or valuable connections. By hesitating, they leave their potential unrealized, which can stall career progress and personal development. Then there's the cycle of stress and anxiety. Procrastination often leads to rushed, last-minute efforts that increase stress levels. As deadlines loom closer, the pressure mounts, and the quality of work can suffer. This stress doesn't just affect one project or task, it can bleed into other areas, creating a sense of constant pressure that undermines mental well-being and, ironically, productivity. The habit of procrastination then fuels a cycle where high achievers find themselves bouncing from one high-stakes, last-minute task to another, amplifying stress and burnout. Additionally, procrastination leads to diminished work quality. High achievers value excellence, yet by procrastinating, they limit the time and energy they can dedicate to each project. Rushed work rarely reflects their true potential, and they might deliver results that feel incomplete or unsatisfying. Over time, this pattern can impact their reputation, eroding the confidence others have in their abilities, and more importantly, their own confidence. Understanding these impacts emphasizes why overcoming procrastination is crucial for high achievers to thrive. In the next section, we'll introduce powerful mindset shifts to break this cycle and unlock the performance they're capable of reaching. Overcoming procrastination starts with a mindset shift. For high achievers, one of the most powerful changes is learning to embrace the concept of good enough. This doesn't mean lowering standards or settling for mediocrity. Instead, it's about recognizing that progress is better than perfection. When the focus shifts from achieving flawlessness to making consistent improvements, tasks become more manageable and starting becomes easier. This mindset allows high achievers to maintain high standards without letting them become barriers. Another transformative shift is reframing failure as growth. Many high achievers fear failure because it feels like a personal shortcoming, but in reality, failure is often the best teacher. By viewing mistakes as stepping stones to improvement, high achievers can approach tasks with less fear and more curiosity. Instead of seeing a project as something that needs to be perfect from the start, they can see it as an evolving process where every attempt, even imperfect ones, brings valuable insights. This mindset frees them to take risks and start tasks without the weight of perfectionism holding them back. Setting realistic standards is another essential mindset change. It's easy for high achievers to set the bar at an ideal that's almost impossible to reach. While high standards are a strength, setting them too high can create a cycle of disappointment and procrastination. By aligning expectations with achievable goals, high achievers can create benchmarks that challenge them but don't paralyze them. This also means breaking down larger goals into smaller, more attainable milestones, which gives a clear sense of progress and reduces overwhelm. Finally, it's helpful to remember that mindset shifts take time. Changing the way you think about tasks, failure, and standards isn't instant, but with practice, each of these shifts can become a powerful tool against procrastination. By learning to approach tasks with a flexible, growth-oriented mindset, high achievers can maintain their drive for excellence without being hindered by it. This new perspective lays a strong foundation for taking meaningful action, even on complex tasks. Now that we've redefined the way to think about procrastination, it's time to explore practical strategies that turn these mindsets into daily habits for productivity. Shifting your mindset is a powerful start, but translating these changes into action requires practical strategies. One of the most effective ways for high achievers to avoid getting stuck is to break down large tasks into smaller, manageable steps. When a project feels overwhelming, tackling it piece by piece reduces the mental load and makes it easier to get started. For instance, instead of thinking about writing an entire report, focus on outlining the first section. Each small accomplishment fuels momentum, helping to gradually build toward the final goal without feeling paralyzed by the scale of the task. Another useful technique is setting time limits. For high achievers, tasks can easily expand to fill more time than necessary, especially when making perfection. By giving yourself a specific time frame, like 30 minutes to complete a draft, an hour to refine, creates a sense of urgency and pushes you to focus on the essentials. Time limits can also prevent overthinking, as they encourage you to prioritize completing the task over polishing every detail, which aligns with the good enough mindset. Prioritizing and delegating are also crucial strategies for high achievers who often take on too much. With a packed schedule, it's essential to identify the most impactful tasks and devote your attention there. When possible, delegate or defer lower priority tasks that don't directly contribute to your core goals. This not only frees up mental energy, but also ensures that your high standards are applied where they matter most, rather than spread thin across countless responsibilities. Finally, embrace a mindset of progress over perfection. This approach means celebrating each step forward, no matter how small, rather than holding out for flawless results. Track your progress to see how each small action accumulates into meaningful achievements over time. This reinforces a sense of accomplishment and helps dismantle the perfectionism that often fuels procrastination. By focusing on steady advancement rather than flawless execution, you create a rhythm of productivity that feels both achievable and motivating. With these strategies, high achievers can harness their standards as a source of strength, not a stumbling block. In the next section, we'll look at how to build consistent habits that make these strategies part of your daily routine, helping you maintain high performance without the constant battle against procrastination. To make real progress, high achievers need more than just strategies. They need habits that reinforce productive behaviors every day. One powerful habit is focusing on daily small wins. Committing to small, achievable actions each day builds momentum and fosters a sense of accomplishment, making it easier to stay motivated. For example, instead of tackling an entire project in one sitting, break it down into bite-sized tasks and tackle a few each day. Over time, these small wins accumulate into big achievements without the overwhelming weight of tackling everything at once. Another effective habit is using accountability systems. High achievers thrive when they're held to a standard, so setting up ways to hold yourself accountable can be incredibly motivating. This could mean partnering with a colleague, mentor, or even a friend who checks in on your progress. Tools like project trackers, calendars, or apps can also help you stay on course, providing gentle reminders and visual records of your accomplishments. Celebrating progress is equally important for building consistency. High achievers are often hard on themselves, focusing on what's left to do rather than what they've already accomplished. Taking the time to acknowledge each completed step or milestone reinforces a positive cycle of achievement. By celebrating progress, you not only boost motivation, but also start seeing each completed task as a reward in itself, helping to build a habit of consistent action. With these habits in place, high achievers can shift from battling procrastination to embracing a steady rhythm of productivity that aligns with their standards. As we wrap up, let's recap the key points and consider actionable next steps to make these changes a reality. We've covered a lot of ground on why high achievers tend to procrastinate and, more importantly, how to break that cycle. From understanding the root causes like perfectionism and fear of failure, to shifting mindsets toward good enough and learning from mistakes, you now have the foundation to overcome procrastination. You've also learned practical strategies from breaking down tasks to prioritizing, and finally, building daily habits that keep you consistently moving forward. Now it's time to take action. Pick just one of these strategies and put it into practice today. Start small and see how it feels to make progress without the pressure of perfection. And remember, overcoming procrastination is a journey. Every small step matters. If you found these insights helpful, consider subscribing for more content on achieving high performance without burnout. Let's keep pushing forward together.